When it comes to luxury brands, there's one that really kind of stands out in my mind, and it has to be Infiniti. And what I truly love, well, it's about everything they make, but there's one that stands out. Well, that's the Infiniti behind me, the QX80. Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, if you're not a big fan of huge, massive SUVs, well, you may want to fast forward to the end, because that's what this vehicle's all about. This particular model is the limited version, and one thing I found with Infiniti is, well, there are no limits on this particular model. It comes with about every option you can think of. Now, what you're going to notice on the outside, not a lot of drastic changes for 2015, a little bit of kind of refinements, and the biggest thing that's different on the limited really is kind of the overall look, and let's look at a couple of the details. One thing I like is kind of the grip at the corners in this model. Well, all-wheel drive is standard, and what I like, well, we've upgraded to 22-inch wheels. Now, I like chrome, but I really like kind of the darkened aspect you see here, and that's special for the limited model, this kind of darkened brushed chrome look, and you're going to see the kind of matching accents both in the headlight assemblies, really the brushed look pretty much around this vehicle. As I alluded to at the beginning, this is a mammoth offering on the road, around about 208 inches overall, with a wheelbase decent at 121 inches. Now, when you look at the step-in height, that's something you look at on full-size SUVs. Really climbing inside is just going to fall short of 2 feet, which means it's kind of a heave inside. But one thing that helps with that really are these side step rails. Now, one thing a lot of vehicles are doing are the hydraulic ones that really kind of come out as these doors open, and one thing I notice on those is sometimes they don't retract if you don't close these doors fully, making it a little bit more aggravating. Now, what's great with these is they're tucked in close to the body, nice little niche, and they're there when you need them and really hide out of the way otherwise. Now, as for the overall ground clearance, you're looking at about 9.2 inches, decent height off the ground. With a premium vehicle comes lots of conveniences, and one of them really starts right here at the door with the good old smart key system. Now, what this does is really allow the vehicle to interact with the key, and I don't really have to think about it. Now, a lot of vehicles do this by putting your hand here. It knows you're there, unlocks the door. Instead, this one utilizes a push button like a lot of other vehicles. What that means is you press the button, this one door unlocks, not the rest of them. Now, run around to the other side, you're going to have to do the same on the driver's door. Now, only the front doors have this button, which means on a rainy day, you press this, open the door, hit the unlock. That's going to allow everyone else in. Now, if there is a way to kind of change these features, well, it's in a cumbersome process on the inside. Now, we talked about that darkened brush chrome accents on the wheels, and where you're going to find them here on the step rails and the roof rails. But what you're going to find is a little bit of chrome accents in other places, kind of like those vents on the side front panel and around the windows. Nice touch and kind of contrast the overall look. Now, when you swing around to the back, a big SUV like this is going to be great because it offers a lot of interior passenger volume and cargo to boot. Now, one thing about the smart key system, well, it applies back here. Again, leave it in your pocket, and there's electronic lift on this vehicle, and that's to be expected. Now, as this swings out of the way, what I like is the fact that this has decent numbers back here, just over 16 cubic feet. And again, that's comparable to like a mid-size sedan. And those numbers are going to easily double and triple as you fold the corresponding back rows. One way to transform cargo back here, kind of invade into the passenger area. Well, a lot of vehicles have that kind of manual fold-down rear seats. On a premium vehicle like this, well, it's going to be powered, and you're going to find those controls right here. Now, what's great is this is kind of a 70-30, 80-20 split. Simply press one of the buttons, it's going to fold down one side. Now, this operation takes just a little bit of time, so as long as you're not really in a big rush, they're going to fold out of the way. Now, when this is totally laid flat, again, that 16 cubic feet back here is going to easily double behind that second row. One thing that can block the driver's backup view really come down to the headrest, and really when you look in the back, all these headrests can really block that back window. One thing that really helps with this is when no one's sitting back here, you can simply press that down. It's going to tuck into the seat back. Even better, there's no real locking of those mechanisms, which make that operation so much simpler. Now, one thing that's great is this button here that's going to allow you to kind of fold these down. Those same buttons are found in the back seating arrangement, which means these seats not only can fold forward, they can actually recline for a little bit more comfort. Looking at the back accents back here, you're going to notice this huge kind of back chrome plate, little matching accents back here. Now, you're going to see this kind of huge chrome area when the rear hatch is closed. Adds a little bit more accents as you sweep around this vehicle. Now, for closing this, the button is here, and you can find it on the key fob just the same. Now, one thing to note, when we look at a lot of SUVs, we like to look for a pop-up rear glass. Now, a lot of vehicles, even with this rear windshield wiper placed here, you can still pop this glass. Now, I don't really find that a big problem here because this one does not open, but after all, I'm not going to be carrying cargo that's going to really need to extend out here, because after all, this is truly premium and not a really workaholic. What you're going to notice for 2015, well, the backup sensors are a little bit more flush with the body, less pronounced, and even better, this back tow hitch is kind of hidden under that cover, which you're going to see on a lot of SUVs. Now, what's great back here, you have a lot of safety built in. The backup camera, the backup parking assist, and that cross traffic awareness, all going to help you stay away from the small dings or the big crashes. Looking closely at this limited model, you're going to kind of maybe miss over some things, and one of them really comes down to the lens covers. These are kind of darkened to really match the kind of dark flavor around this vehicle. Again, starting with the rims and working its way up, and I really like these nice features that are built in. With a vehicle this big, you got to have decent numbers under the hood, and Infiniti delivered just fine there. Specifically, a 5.6 liter V8 engine delivers around 400 horses and 413 foot-pounds of torque. Now, the engine's coupled to a 7-speed automatic transmission and really gave me a lot of get up and go. Now, I didn't really look at fuel numbers because, after all, they're going to be somewhat anemic because you press the gas, it's certainly going to guzzle it. Now, one thing I did take note of was the smooth ride, really starting with the nice shock absorber system they have on here, and even the lean when you go into the corners, because it does have hydraulic body motion control, which pretty much it prevents the vehicle from truly leaning when you go into the curve, making the overall refinement of this vehicle easily surpass everyone else. At the front of the vehicle is going to be just as much kind of safety features as the back, and really it starts with the sensors on the lower bumper, the front camera built in. It's going to allow you to navigate with ease, and even going down to the adaptive cruise control, allow you to be in tight traffic, set the cruise, and forget about it. Now, it's going to include things like safety systems, like collision alert, braking, other features that really make this premium vehicle even more focused on safety. Now, when you look at the accents up here, you're going to see matching kind of that brushed darkened chrome accents up front, really body color all the way around, and just a nice hint of chrome. Now, what you're going to see on the hood really is that Infiniti family line, that kind of wavy front hood that all the vehicles test drive certainly come with. This vehicle easily measures over 6 feet tall and 6 feet wide, which means squeezing into tight spots can be kind of an arduous task. Now, one thing that's going to help with that, of course, is the front camera, the backup camera, and all that couples together with the surround view. Really, the camera is built in here. Now, what that does take a little bit getting used to, because it feels like a bird is looking down on your vehicle, because after all, these are really wide angle shots, really getting you a tight look at where you're going into, making this beast feel so much smaller. This came as a shock, but really the front seat may not be where you want to climb inside, because after all, the legroom numbers are a little bit better here in the second row. Now, by the numbers, you're looking around about 39 inches up front, 41 in the second row, and kind of an anemic 28 way in the back. But really, with a little bit of movement here and there, well, comfort can be found all the way around. One of the biggest areas you're going to find luxury really is right on the dash, and really anywhere you look on the doors, the center console, and it really comes down to this ash wood trim. It's really adorned everywhere, and it's something really Infiniti luxury buyers are looking for, a touch of elegance really everywhere you look. When you look at the seating in this limited model, well, you're going to notice the quilted kind of stitching and the ultra plushness that comes on these particular seats. Now, what's great is they're going to have 10-way power adjustments in the front, not to mention the reclinability in the second and third rows. Now, when you look up above, look no further than the ultra suede headliner, really taking this luxury to the next level. When it comes to the sound system, nothing is more luxury than Bose, and what's great is for the QX80, it's either going to be a 12 or 15 speaker system. Now, what you're going to notice on the dash is a nice full-size screen. Now, it is touchscreen, but you're probably going to end up using a lot of the buttons down below. That's going to help you a little bit more with the stretch versus kind of reaching way up here. Now, up top is going to be kind of the buttons for your navigation. Down below, more for entertainment. Now, don't expect to find any plastic appointments on this vehicle. Really, everything wrapped in leather right here on the gear shifter, on the steering, and even the grab handle bars kind of all the way around the vehicle. Now, down here, it's going to be some added buttons. Really, the climate control, really the zone system, really dialing in specific temperatures for the front. And you do have rear control access here. Simply press there, it's going to relate to the screen, or the backseat drivers can do that just the same. Now swing down low, going to be some other nice features. Now heated seats come standard on the QX80, but here on the Limited, well, you got the cool down feature just the same, and you have power supply right here. Heated steering. Now these little buttons are kind of nifty. Now what this allows you to do is pull up to the curb, pick up your passengers, press this button here. That's going to tumble your second row forward, easily flipping out of the way, giving quick ingress to that third row occupants. Between the front occupants really is a lot of acreage, and it really all starts with this nice elbow support here on this center console. Now what's great is this elbow support can kind of slide to and fro, kind of positioning for the driver. Now even better, there's plenty of storage in here, and also a main power switch for the house outlet is back here for your electronics. Now when you're looking for cup holders, well, don't look too hard because they're everywhere you turn. Really 2 up here, 1 on each door, 2 in the second row, and a whopping 4 for the back seat passenger. On the steering wheel, it's going to be a lot of buttons you're going to need every day, really coming down to the cruise control and entertainment system, of course, and the Bluetooth technology for your phone. Now for the gauges, I like the fact that they keep it straight analog system, the huge tachometer on the left, the speedometer on the right, and a kind of a small digital readout in between. Now typically I'm a big fan of the digital readout for both of those, but I like the kind of old school look. Now the feature I talked about earlier is when the driver can kind of press and hold that button, and this little kind of seat here is going to tumble out of the way. Now that makes the kind of ingress back here so much easier, and even better, you don't have to kind of get out and really worry about your passengers. Simply kind of press this button, they're going to climb in. Now if you need to do it the old school method, which is the old manual, which we can do, you're simply going to pull this handle right here. Now it's going to flip it forward and tumble it really with one fell swoop. Again, this is plenty of acreage. A nice step rail, another step, and then you're inside. Now I talked about earlier the kind of reclinability of all these rows. Well, again, it's going to start here with this handle, and you're going to push and hold this, and it's going to recline back and give you a lot more comfort. Now it may kind of creep into that third row, but they're not going to mind because they can recline just the same. Now for the seating layout, what you're going to find on the Limited really is the 2 captain chairs up front in the second row and 3 across in the back, giving you seating obviously for 7. Now between the second row passengers, really a nice huge center console, nice elbow support, even better, great storage. Now what you're going to find here on the Limited really is headphones tucked down here and a remote, and that's going to come standard, and that's going to be a nice 2-screen system built into the back of the headrest on the front seats. Now even better, you can hook up a console from home like a PlayStation, Wii, whatever it may be, right here in this vehicle, even store it down here in this front part of this center console. Now even better, really the front passengers can listen to their music, the back passengers can listen to their individualized entertainment. Even better, we can isolate each headrest monitor to its own entertainment. This side can be watching a DVD while this side plays a game. This vehicle again comes with the Tri-Zone system, and what's great for back occupants is they can control it all right here, and they also have heated seats for the outside passengers in the second row. Now what you're going to find really with the cooling down back here in the back rows is really nice huge vent system, really tucked below the front seats and even up above in the roof, really blowing a lot of air back here, something that's crucial to help control the comfort for your occupants. Now what does 29 inches of legroom look like for a 6-foot person like myself in the very back of this vehicle? Well, it's a lot better in person than in the numbers, because what it comes down to is really the seating is down low. Your knees are going to be up a little bit higher, but what helps with it at the end of the day is this nice niche built into the back of the second row seats. And really what helps with that is a little bit of breathing room, and after all, it's pretty decent comfort, because when you're in a luxury vehicle like this, really legroom is probably the last thing you'll realize, because it's just overall so comfortable. The last thing that's really going to help with comfort back here, regardless of legroom, has to be with the back seat kind of positioning. And what's helped is with the power controls to lay these seats back, really giving you a lot more reclinability and heck, just a lot more comfort. Now that does it for this edition of Road Warrior, and a test drive behind the wheel of the 2015 Infiniti QX80, really sizing up the premium market. giving you, well, exactly what you need if full size is what you're looking for. Now again, what we like is it has decent horsepower on the hood, but better yet, you're going to enjoy the inside. Really premium. It's kind of not even the right word to describe, because luxury is where it's at. Now, as always, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.